Let's learn that the wool used by this giraffe is yellow, coffee, white, black, pink, a crochet hook, 2 eyes, 2 rubber buckles, and a stitching needle. We first purchase the ring-shaped needle on the head of the horn-passing object. The thread is rounded around the little finger. Then the index finger is rounded around the middle finger to hold the coil. Crochet hook the thread from the loop insert. Then wind the thread counterclockwise through the first loop to arrange a starting stitch. Then we need to hook 6 short stitches in this loop. First hook the first short stitch, insert the loop, and wind the thread counterclockwise. Yes, this is the first short array, and there are 6 checks to check in total. Tighten the coil after 5, 6, and 6 are hooked. Tighten the loop, and then let's touch the lead in the first stitch. The earth needle is the place where the first way word of this way word is located. This is its. Wind the thread counterclockwise and take it out directly through the back coil, and then wind the thread counterclockwise to sort out the standing needle. This is the second turn at the beginning of hooking. The second turn is the addition of 6 short needles. We have just pulled out this needle eye into the needle. Hook a short stitch first. If you can't tell the difference, you can take a mark buckle on the first stitch we just hooked and put a mark buckle on it. Then insert the needle in this needle hole and hook another short needle. There are 2 short needles in such a needle curtain, and each next needle curtain is hooked with 2 short needles, totaling 6 groups. After the 6-legged hook is finished, we have to remove the needle eye of the marking buckle before pulling it out. Then the buckle pin is inserted counterclockwise to take the wire through the first coil and then take it through the second coil. If your student wants to set up a chi-lision thread, let's start hooking the third circle. The third circle is a short needle and an additional needle. Now the triggered needle hooks a short needle, and the next needle hooks a short needle and adds needles. This is enough for 6 groups in one group. Short needle, plus needle. Soft needle. The family will keep hooking till the end. Okay, the third lap has been finished. Let's print it at the first needle. At the beginning of hooking the 4th lap, a bottom stitch must be erected for each lap, and the 4th lap is 2 short stitches and 1 additional stitch. It's the same construction as just now, except the first short one will be done next weekend, and then the dog will add a short positive stitch on the next weekend, so that a group of 6 groups of short stitches, and short stitches will be added. Good third, the 4th lap is also finished, and then we also do it at the first needle, which triggers it directly. Take it directly through the back loop, and then set up a bottom stitch to start hooking the 5th turn. The 5th turn is 3 short stitches and 1 additional stitch. 1, 2, 3, and then another needle. Yes, it's really short, really short, really increasing. There is enough for 6 groups in total. Okay, the 5th day is enough to the end, and then let's also do addiction at the first needle curtain. There are 16 laps in total from the 6th to 11th laps, all of which are hooked with a corresponding short needle for each needle eye. Broken needles without adding or subtracting Each needle would hook a broken needle. This way hook until lap 11. Okay, we have purchased the 11th lap, and then we have to find it, huh? Put eyes on it at the 7th and 7th lap. This is 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On the 7th lap, this is where we are connected. Look, this is where we are connected. The last one and that one. This one is in the back. Yes, so we have to look for it in front. The position of 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on lap 7. This is the middle of the 7th lap, and then count 2 needles to the left. 1 or 2 here. Then count 4 to the right, 1034 here. Then we put this hat on the back of it. So the eyes are fitted. On lap 12, we're going to start cutting the needle. Or is it a start-off needle in the county? This standing stitch must be erected every turn, and then we first hook 3 short stitches and 1 reducing stitch. First, a short needle. 2. 33 short needle cutting needles is to adjust the left outer half needle of 2 needle meshes. It seems that this is a V shape. This is a V, but we only picked this one on the left. Find the 2 tail and half needles on the left, then take the front 2 coils first, and then wrap the thread to take the back 2 coils. It will be 1 group, and then we will also take 6 groups. First, take 3 short stitches and then demonstrate it again. Then a minus frame. Okay, so I'll end by checking myself. And the 13th lap, we have 2 short stitches and 1 minus stitch. That's it. Gradually reduce the number of frames. Personality A. 2 short range, 1 reducing needle. In this way, 6 groups are also checked until the end. On the 14th lap, we are a short needle, and a reducing needle is also a standing needle, and a short needle every 6 groups. A reduction needle. 1 short needle, 1 reduced needle. This ticks until the end. After the purchase is finished on the 14th day, we can stretch the thread for it and then give it 3 times. Few times, many times, fill it in small quantities. Be firm. After I tear the cotton, we peel the last lap. The last lap is 6 key stitches, and each stitch is a reduction stitch. 3.5 strips. Another half stitch. Then this is the finger to press it down like this. Pass the first 2 coils and bring the last 2 coils, and then each one connected is a reduction needle. Hook this way until the end. Give it this way. Before arranging, you can stretch the wire and break it. Next, let's hook the beef's body or slowly wake up the needle. Hook 5 short stitches in the circle. Then pull the coil closer. Second, then print the scar on the first needle number. On the second day, we hooked 5 short stitches and added stitches. The first point just now, should it be? On the third turn, we hook a short stitch and an additional stitch. A short needle. There are added needles. We'll be a family total shopping group. Stand up a 7-grain needle in the low competition seal 8. Both the 4th and 5th turns are 15 short stitches without adding or subtracting. Eyebrow needle mask to the eye groove can be a short needle. It goes until the end, until the 5th lap. The 6th turn is 3 short needles and 1 key needle, a total of 3 groups. Take 3 short arrays first. Take another simple needle. So there are 3 groups in total. Then say yin 8 in the first shot. The 7th turn is 2 short stitches and 1 minus stitch. Three groups too. put it on the first stitch to make sound. Strange force is real. Then we lengthen the coil and fill it with cotton painting. The 8th circle of married is a short stitch and a reduced stitch. A short needle. Hook another reduction needle. Then let's drink at the first screen. Then we leave him long enough thread to stitch. That's fine. Next, let's hook the legs of the beef. First, let's reflect on the onset of the earthquake and hook 6 short needles first. "66 tightening coils after hooking. Then in the first one, so addicted, right? Li Qi Le Zhen, lap 2. Each needle is hooked with a short layer, making a total of 6 stitches. Or in the first real screen silver class. Then we change the yellow thread. It is also a short needle for each needle curtain to swallow hook. 6 stitches in total. The brown thread is broken. Then lap 4 is also 6 short courses. I pass the same way for the first 2 laps. Then leave the thread. used to stitch. There are 2 checks in total. Two legs are ready. Then hook her forward and back, or wake up and start the earthquake. 5 short arrays each in the coil. Then tighten the coil. In the first real eye addiction, right? A pneumatic stitch, the second turn is 5 short stitches that are not added or subtracted. If this place can't be distinguished, you can use a mark to buckle it. Buckle it on the first lap. After hooking 5 short lines, make a printing plate in this Ya1 buckle needle. The first force is true. Then we change the yellow thread. Then hook 5 short needles without adding or subtracting. When we're done, let's pay out the first stitch. Seventh time's a month. It really makes us break this thread. Then from the 4th to the 7th turn, there are 4 turns in total, each of which is no addition or subtraction to 5 short stitches. Hook this way until lap 7. Okay, let's buy it yourself next. After we're done, we still have to leave a long thread to stitch. In this way, you also need to tick 2. About 2 have been purchased. Next, hook the 2 corners of Yangtze River Road. Or get up slowly and hook 4 short stitches in the circle. Then in the first pin screen shadow bar, $2,000 bonus points for 4 short spaces, a total of 8 stitches. Finished in the first reel screen silver class. Hook 4 short and accurate reducing needles in the 4th circle. That's 4 stitches. Why don't you put it in the first place? Then the U's long line was disconnected. This also requires 2 ticks. Next, let's learn the ear of preaching the scriptures. The true generation line bypasses the index finger and then pinches it directly with the thumb and middle finger. Wrap the wire clockwise and then pass it through this coil. When you wind the thread in time, first hook the locking needles one by one. Hook another locking needle and then put it in the first needle mesh. Construct a short needle addition needle. Then set up another locking pin. Turn it over and then hook 2 additional needles. Well, 2 plus needles. Set up another lockdown, flip the piece. Then hook 4 short needles, 1 for each needle. Set up another condensation. Then tick 2. Minus frame for short shoulders. Then hook 4 short stitches on the side of this side. Then 3 locking needles, 123, and another extraction needle. Then hook 3 more short needles. 2, 4. Then hook another extraction needle. Well, his ears are good enough like this, and this ear also needs to be hooked with 2 gut threads. Use it to stitch and then just cut this off. The ears also need to be hooked twice. Next, we're going to hook the white area in front of his mouth. First, hook 3 locking pins. 123, and then at the first needle in the countdown, this is just constructed. This is the first. Hook a short needle on the next weekend. 3 short needles apart. Then flip over the corresponding needle mesh here. Tick 1. The addition of a short needle then print the scar. In the first needle curtain, quote 8. It's a good pickup needle, and the second turn is the addition of 6 short stitches. Each needle membrane is hooked with an additional needle. Or in the first real screen seal, right? In the third turn, we hook a short stitch, add a stitch, and hook a short stitch first. Then there's the addition of short needles. There are 6 seats. Do you feel like living until the end? Then finally pull the drinking plug and disconnect the line directly. Then let's hook the spots on its head, wake up the starter first, and then hook 6 short stations in this coil. 4, 4. 6 tightening coils count shadows at the first needle mesh. Hide the thread in the back. The thread should be left longer. If you want to stitch, then cut this thread for it. We have to check 3 of these in total. Finally, we hook its blush, which is also a ring-shaped needle, and then in this. True Morrigu 5 short arrays. It is also a closer coil. Seal it in the first real screen. Hide it in the back. Cut off the middle line. This needs to be checked too. Okay, now all the accessories are hooked with a head body, then 2 blushes, 2 front legs too, and these 2 front legs and these 2 hind legs. The spots at night have the horn face on the head and 2 ears. Let's start assembling them below. We assemble its head and body first. From this connecting line behind this place is sealed. It's a stitch above and a stitch below. The corresponding weekend corresponds to true, so just sew it. There is actually no requirement for this, as long as the stitching is strong. Next, stitch his arm. Take out this, where we stitch the needle in this thread, and this one is going to lean inside. Come onto the side. As long as the powder is good in this way, seal the other side as well. Then sewing up its legs. This allows it to sit forward and put it like this. Okay, now that his arms and 2 legs are swollen, let's stitch up his face. We give it this close, and then from below, put it on. The corresponding needle membrane penetrates from the needle membrane. Just like this one by one. Correspondingly, just stitch it up all the way to the end here. Next, let's stitch his ears, that is, in the 2nd and 3rd turns. Just seal it in this position. Then his feet and ears are sealed with 2 laps in between. There are also 2 circles in the middle of this one, and then sew some blush on it. There are also some spots on its head. This spot can be freely used wherever you think it looks good, and you can sew it wherever you think it looks good. Now the ears are blush, all these spots are stitched. Let's sew its mouth and eyelashes, and then we have to take out the black thread and break it into 2 strands. There are 2 wires. Just use 2 rooms. The nose and mouth are all sewn, and then the shoulders. Just sew up the other eyelash on it. Well, this path is finished stitching.